noticed that that psychological phenomenon of time compression that happens when people are just completely isolated from the outside world?
Oh, absolutely. It's like sensory starvation.
Right. Like when you strip away cell phones and books and music, the human brain just goes into this state of panic. It starts latching onto whatever stimuli are available with this like terrifying, exaggerated intensity.
Yep. 3 days of casual conversation suddenly feels like a decade of shared history.
Exactly. A shared glance over a morning coffee becomes this profound, soul-binding connection. I mean, it is the exact same psychological mechanism they study in deep space simulation missions. And yet, here we are, watching it unfold in real time while people wearing neon swimwear argue over who used the last of the oat milk.
It is wild.
Babes, welcome back. We love you. We see you. And honestly, if finding love was as easy as making iced coffee, we'd all be engaged by now.
We really would be.
But instead, we are sitting here watching people who have known each other for precisely 21 days promise each other the moon, the stars, and like a shared mortgage. Welcome back to the Snark Side.
It really is just a fascinating psychological experiment dressed up as a dating competition. I mean, the sheer, unadulterated delusion radiating from the villa this week is practically its own weather system at this point.
Oh, a Category 5 hurricane of delusion.
Literally.
Yeah.
And frankly, I am living for the breakdown of their collective sanity. Like every time I think they have hit the absolute ceiling of fake promises and traducer-driven madness and cognitive dissonance, they find a ladder and climb higher into the clouds.
They really do.
It is a masterclass in how environment dictates emotion. They aren't falling in love with each other. They're falling in love with the relief from their own crushing boredom.
Which is exactly why tonight's drinks are absolutely non-negotiable. Snark Squad, I hope you have your glasses ready, your ice perfectly crushed, because tonight we are sipping on raspberry gin fizz cocktails.
Oh, yes, please.
It is bubbly, it is sweet, it is deceptively strong, and frankly, the villa desperately needs something refreshing after the messy, chaotic, and deeply uncomfortable episode we just witnessed. We need a palate cleanser for our souls.
I will gladly toast to that. To another evening of summer romance, blaring red flags that people are actively choosing to wear as superhero capes, and absolutely terrible communication skills that will inexplicably secure these islanders a six-figure fast fashion brand deal by the time September rolls around. Cheers, babes.
Cheers. Oh my gosh. Okay, before we even get into the mechanics of the villa chaos, I have to tell you and the Snark Squad about my afternoon, because it completely recontextualized how I view modern dating.
Wait, what happened?
So I did our weekly FaceTime check-in with Joan and Felicia.
Oh, the absolute reigning monarchs of the local retirement home, the OG snarkers. Please tell me they are thriving and causing chaos in the dining hall.
Thriving doesn't even begin to cover it. I mean, the call was supposed to be a quick, 10-minute, how was your week going? Did they serve the good pudding today? Check-in.
Right, the usual.
Tell me why I was on the phone for nearly an hour.
Stop it. Hour.
Yes, they somehow always have more gossip and a sharper, more devastatingly accurate read on these islanders than both of us combined. They were dissecting the body language of the islanders like FBI profilers.
Joan is lethal. I've always said this. Joan can spot a fake reality TV couple in 3 seconds flat.
3 seconds.
She does not get distracted by the romantic background music or the slow-motion camera angles. She strips away the aesthetic and looks right at the power dynamics. She probably took one look at Priya and Aidan and just started laughing at her television screen.
She literally did. She called it a merger of two sinking ships.
She knows a transactional business arrangement masquerading as a romance when she sees one.
Exactly. But then Felicia got on the screen and she dropped some dating advice that honestly hit so hard I had to physically sit down.
Ooh, do tell.
She was talking about how everyone in the villa, and really everyone in the modern dating pool, is so obsessed with the chase and the anxiety of the unknown. And she just looked into the camera, adjusted her glasses, and said, if a man makes you confused, he is not your man. Confusion is just a substitute for effort.
Oh, wow. Put that on a t-shirt.
I literally got out a pen and started taking notes. She explained that we mistake anxiety for chemistry. When someone keeps you guessing, your cortisol spikes, and you mistake that biological panic for butterflies.
That is so true.
It applies to people in their 20s swiping on apps just as much as people in their 80s.
See, this is why they are the wisest relationship experts we know.
Yeah.
They have lived through the trenches, they have seen the delusions play out over decades, and they do not have time for men who act like bewildered spring lambs when another attractive person walks into the room. Felicia hit the nail on the head regarding anxiety versus chemistry. Modern dating has conditioned us to believe that if we aren't slightly nauseous with worry about where we stand, the connection isn't real. It's a trauma response masquerading as romance.
100%.
And by the way, when are we finally inviting them onto the chat? Because they are actively demanding an invite, and I feel like they would host this show better than we do.
We promise you, Snark Squad, the OG Snarkers are doing great. They are ruling their social circle with iron fists, and they will absolutely make a guest appearance soon.
Cannot wait for that.
But speaking of the anxiety of the unknown and trying to make sense of the absolute madness that is modern romance, I think we need to spiritually prepare the squad for the week ahead. The stars are aligning in some truly toxic ways, so it is time for our weekly love horoscopes.
Oh, buckle up, babes.
Uh,
We're going through all 12 zodiac signs, and you are going to want to take notes. Because the cosmos are just as messy as the Islanders right now.
so messy.
We are dealing with some heavy retrograde energy that is going to severely impact your judgment. Let's kick it off with Aries.
Aries babes, your love prediction this week is a fiery, spontaneous text from an ex that will arrive right when you are feeling the most vulnerable.
Don't do it, Aries.
It is a biological trap. Ignore it, delete the message, block the number, throw the phone in the ocean. Your manifestation challenge for the week is to demand a partner who actually plans the date. No more, what do you want to do? Energy.
Ugh, the worst.
That is lazy, and it pushes the cognitive load of the relationship onto you. Your specific red flag to avoid. Avoid men wearing flip-flops in non-beach settings.
Oh, absolutely not.
If you see toes on the pavement of a major metropolitan city, run for your life. It shows a severe lack of situational awareness. Your lucky color this week is Villa Fire Pit Orange.
Exceptionally solid advice. Okay, moving on to Taurus. Taurus, your love prediction is that someone will try to rush you into a commitment before you even know their middle name.
So dangerous.
It is very Love Island Week 3 energy, where they try to lock you down to avoid the vulnerability of actually getting to know you. Your confidence challenge is to practice the art of saying no without explaining yourself. Just a flat, declarative no. No justifications needed.
I love that.
And your highly specific red flag to avoid anyone who says they don't believe in using coasters. If they do not respect wood, they will not respect your emotional boundaries. It is a microcosm of their overall consideration for others. Lucky activity. Romanticizing your grocery shopping trip by pretending you are a wealthy widow in a French film.
Oh, I absolutely love a romantic grocery trip, just floating through the produce aisle. Okay, Gemini, listen up. My dynamic dual personalities. Your love prediction is that you will have incredible, razor-sharp banter with someone in a comment section or on an app, but it will absolutely not translate to real life. It is purely text-based chemistry. Your manifestation challenge is to only entertain people who ask you meaningful follow-up questions about yourself. Your red flag to avoid. People who only follow Instagram models and aggressively unironic motivational quote pages.
Oh my gosh, yes. The alpha grind set pages.
It's giving toxic positivity mixed with severe insecurity. Your lucky color is hideaway pink.
Classic Gemini dilemma. Mistaking wit for emotional availability.
Yeah.
Okay, Cancer. My emotional, deeply intuitive babes. Your prediction. You are going to misinterpret a completely platonic, polite gesture as a grand, sweeping declaration of love.
Stop mentally writing the wedding vows.
Exactly. Just because they remembered you were lactose intolerant doesn't mean they want to marry you. Your challenge for the week is to leave your phone in another room for an entire hour so you stop waiting for their text to validate your existence.
That's a tough one.
Very tough. Your specific red flag?
Oh.
If they describe their ex as crazy without providing any context regarding their own behavior that might have contributed to that dynamic, run immediately. Lucky activity. Taking a ridiculously long, dramatic bubble bath while listening to sad indie music and mourning a relationship you completely made up in your head.
We have all been there, Cancer. Do not let the delusion win. Leo, your turn. Your love prediction is that all eyes will be on you this weekend and you will have multiple people trying to pull you for a chat.
Main character energy.
Always. Your confidence challenge is to not let the sheer volume of attention make you lower your standards. Just because the buffet is fully stocked doesn't mean you should eat the stale bread. You are the prize.
Come on, scale bread.
Red flag to avoid. Anyone who tries to dim your light or tells you that your outfit is too much, it is never too much. They are just deeply intimidated by your radiance. Lucky color. Gold, obviously. Like the cash prize at the end of the season that everyone is desperately pretending they don't care about.
So true. All right, Virgo, let's get into the analytical weeds. Your love prediction. Someone is going to mess up a very specific minor detail you told them weeks ago, and it will give you the ick immediately and irreversibly.
The ick is so real for Virgos.
Fatal. Your challenge. Try to go on one date without treating it like a corporate job interview. You do not need their 5-year financial plan before the appetizers arrive. Allow for some mystery.
Let them breathe.
Seriously. Red flag to avoid. People with dirty fingernails who claim to be outdoorsy. There is a difference between climbing a mountain and just refusing to buy a nail brush. Lucky activity. Organizing your makeup bag, categorizing your skincare by active ingredients, and ignoring everyone's texts.
Libra, my aesthetic, balance-seeking queens. Your prediction is that you will be completely torn between two options. One is safe, stable, and incredibly boring. The other is a walking red flag with phenomenally nice hair and a leather jacket.
Oh, always the leather jacket.
Your challenge is to make a decision without asking your group chat for a poll. You have to actually trust your own intuition for once. Red flags to avoid. Anyone who thinks taking pictures together is cringe. Let me document my meticulously planned outfit, thank you very much. If they can't handle a selfie, they can't handle a relationship. Lucky color? Iced latte beige.
Perfect. Scorpio, your terrifying intensity is showing. Your love prediction. You are going to do a deep forensic investigation on someone's social media presence and find out something you really, really wish you hadn't. Ignorance is sometimes bliss.
Put the phone down, Scorpio.
Your challenge. Stop looking for reasons to self-sabotage a perfectly good thing. Allow yourself to experience joy without waiting for the other shoe to drop. Red flag to avoid. Anyone who says, I don't really watch TV.
Such a lie.
They are lying, they are pretentious, and they are absolutely judging you for enjoying reality television. Cut them loose. Lucky activity. Wearing dark, oversized sunglasses indoors to protect your peace and hide your judgmental expressions.
Sagittarius, my chaotic wanderers. Your love prediction is a wild, spontaneous adventure with someone you literally just met 45 minutes ago.
Sounds about right.
Your challenge is to actually text them back the next day instead of disappearing into the void because you got distracted by a new hobby. Consistency is key. Your specific red flag to avoid. People who get severe motion sickness on boats but insist on booking sunset boat dates anyway just for the aesthetic.
That is highly specific.
It is a sign of phenomenally bad planning and prioritizing image over comfort. Lucky color, sunset orange.
Capricorn, the ruthless CEOs of the zodiac. Your prediction. Someone is going to try and emotionally manipulate you, and you're going to look at them completely blankly, the way you would look at a spreadsheet with a glaring formula error.
Just unbothered.
Completely. Your challenge. Physically schedule a block of time in your digital calendar specifically dedicated to flirting. You are far too focused on the grind, and you are intimidating everyone around you.
Put it in the Google Calendar.
Right. Red flag to avoid. People who use the word hustle unironically in their dating app bio. They will try to sell you cryptocurrency by the third date. Lucky activity. Deleting your dating apps entirely, pouring a glass of expensive wine, and enjoying your hard-earned success.
Aquarius, my quirky, detached innovators. Your love prediction is that you will fall profoundly in love with someone based entirely on the specific curation of their highly niche Spotify playlists.
A tale as old as time.
Your manifestation challenge is to actually compliment a stranger in real life, using your physical voice, not just leaving a fire emoji on the internet. Red flag to avoid. People who still use the crying, laughing emoji more than 3 times in a single text message. It is 2026. We have moved on. We use the skull emoji now. Keep up. Lucky color, electric blue.
And finally, Pisces, my dreamers. Your love prediction. You are going to create an elaborate, multi-layered fantasy about the cute barista, mentally plan your future children's names, and then realize they're wearing a wedding ring when they hand you your latte. Your challenge. Stay grounded in actual empirical reality for at least 48 hours. Red flag to avoid. Anyone who tells you they're not looking for anything serious right now, but treats you exactly like a spouse, monopolizing your time and emotional bandwidth. They are emotional vampires, stealing your energy without providing security. Lucky activity? Journaling your intense feelings in a letter-bound notebook instead of texting them to the person who caused them.
Honestly, I feel completely personally targeted by that Pisces one. The barista fantasy is too real.
It happens to the best of us.
Which actually leads us perfectly into a confession session. Because we sit here every week judging the Islanders from our high horses for falling in love in 3 weeks and making delusional choices. But let's be entirely real with the Snark Squad. We have our own completely unrealistic, cinematic, romantic fantasies.
Oh, 100%.
We are not immune to the delusion. I will confess my most embarrassing one first.
Please do. I need to hear exactly how far from empirical reality we are operating today. Lay bare the depths of your cinematic conditioning.
All right, so my ultimate romantic delusion, and I am not exaggerating, I literally think about this every single time I enter a Barnes & Noble or an independent bookshop, is that I am going to be wandering down the aisle in the fiction section.
Setting the scene. I like it.
The lighting is slightly dusty and atmospheric. I am completely absorbed in finding the perfect, emotionally devastating romance novel. I reach out my hand for a specific spine on the shelf, and suddenly another hand brushes mine.
Oh, boy.
I gasp, I look up, and lock eyes with my absolute, undeniable soulmate. He is wearing a cozy, cable-knit fisherman sweater. He smells like cedarwood and old parchment paper, and we just immediately know. No awkward dating apps, no swiping through mirror selfies, no agonizing over text response times. Just pure, undeniable literary destiny.
Oh, babes. That has a Hallmark movie script generated by an AI that was fed nothing but Meg Ryan films from the 1990s.
Let me live.
We have to look at the logistical reality of that scenario. First of all, the serendipity paradox dictates that the exact kind of guy you were looking for, a well-read, emotionally available man in a fisherman's sweater, is not loitering in the romance aisle hoping for a handbrush.
Where is he then?
He is probably lost, looking for the bathroom, or he's waiting for his mother who is browsing the cookbook section. But I do appreciate the vision. It highlights exactly why we hate modern dating. You are craving a connection that bypasses the exhausting cognitive load of evaluating a dating profile. You want the universe to do the heavy lifting of curation for you.
Exactly. It is about the magic of the universe stepping in. It is deeply romantic. What is your delusion then, Mr. Analytical? You act like you are above it all, but I bet you have a fantasy that is just as unhinged.
I absolutely do, but mine is firmly rooted in luxury, convenience, and contained environments. My delusion is that I am at a major international airport, my flight is severely delayed, and I am highly stressed. Suddenly, the gate agent calls my name over the intercom and says I've been bumped to first class due to an overbooking error.
Okay, already a fantasy.
Right. So I board the plane, take my massive reclining pod seat, and the person sitting next to me is a wealthy, devastatingly handsome, completely unproblematic millionaire. He has no podcasts, no weird dietary restrictions, no ex-wife drama, and he is reading a thick, critically acclaimed biography.
Wait, really? A biography?
Because we are in a contained environment, a literal metal tube flying over the ocean, we are forced into proximity. We share a glass of vintage champagne before takeoff, have a witty Aaron Sorkin-style banter session over the Atlantic, and by the time we land, he's casually offering to fly me to his private villa in Lake Como.
Okay, wait, hold on. Yours is actually astronomically more delusional than mine.
Is it, though?
Yes. First-class upgrades for no reason. A millionaire who is completely unproblematic and single. A man reading a thick biography instead of watching a Marvel movie on his iPad. In this economy.
A cynical person can dream. We have to cling to these hyper-specific cinematic hopes because the grim, exhausting reality of modern dating apps is so soul-crushing. We're stuck swiping through men holding up fish they caught in 2019 or arguing with someone who thinks calling you hey at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday is a grand, sweeping romantic gesture.
It is so grim.
The airport fantasy appeals to me because it removes the paradox of choice.
Wow.
You are stuck next to one person, and the universe forces the interaction. It is the exact same psychology that makes Love Island work and forced proximity breeds connection.
It is so exhausting out there. The apps have completely rewired our brains for the worse. We are commodifying human connection, which is exactly why we need to recalibrate our standards and stop accepting the absolute bare minimum.
To play the array.
So let's talk about green flags we actually care about. Because people always say generic things like, oh, he makes me laugh. Babes, clowns make me laugh. A golden retriever falling over makes me laugh. A late-night comedy special makes me laugh.
True.
We need highly specific, underrated green flags that actually indicate a functional human being. I want you to give me your top 5 right now. No cliches.
Gladly. Let's elevate the standards. Number 1. They are genuinely, consistently kind to customer service workers.
Hmm.
And I don't just mean they mumble thanks when handed a coffee. I mean they look the barista in the eye, they exhibit actual patience if the restaurant is short-staffed, and they tip exceptionally well.
Oh, yes.
This is known as the waiter rule in psychology. How someone treats a person in a service position where there is a temporary power imbalance is a direct proxy for their baseline empathy. If they're rude to a waiter, they're a bad person. Yeah. Period. There is no nuance there.
Yes, absolutely top tier. It is the ultimate test of character. Okay, my first one. They make concrete, actionable dinner plans. They don't just text, "We should hang out sometime," and leave the mental labor of figuring out the logistics in the ether.
The "we should hang out" text is a plague.
It really is. I want them to say, "I would love to take you to that new Italian place on Thursday at 7 p.m. I will make the reservation and send you the calendar invite." That is so incredibly attractive. It shows initiative, and it completely removes the decision fatigue from my plate.
Initiative is the ultimate aphrodisiac because it signals that they are willing to invest effort before a reward is guaranteed. My second green flag. They do not own a microphone, they do not own a ring light, and they do not host the podcast.
Hey, excuse me, we literally host a show. We are sitting behind microphones right now.
We are the cultural exception. But you know exactly the demographic I am talking about. If a man has a multi-camera setup in his living room and talks about the alpha mindset, high-value males, or fiat currency for 3 hours a week to an audience of other angry men, that is a walking biological hazard. Keep him away from me.
Okay, fair. Very fair.
My third green flag. They remember your highly obscure coffee order without you ever having to repeat it. It demonstrates active listening, which is agonizingly rare. It means when you speak, they are actually storing the data, not just waiting for their turn to talk.
No, I love that. Data retention is a love language. My next one. They know how to apologize without deploying the word but. Like, they just look at you and say, "I am sorry I hurt your feelings," instead of the classic manipulative pivot of, "I am sorry you feel that way, but if you hadn't done X, I wouldn't have done Y."
Oh, the but ruins the whole apology.
It totally does. True accountability is so rare that when you see it, it's startling. And my third. They have tangible hobbies that do not involve staring at a glowing rectangular screen. Like they build wooden birdhouses, or they rock climb, or they bake sourdough bread from scratch. Just something that anchors them in the physical world.
Bread baking is a huge green flag because it requires patience and an understanding of delayed gratification, two things desperately needed in a partner. Okay, my fourth. They have a good relationship with their exes, or at least a completely neutral, respectful one.
That's a good one.
If every single one of their exes is described as crazy, obsessed, or toxic, guess what? They are the common denominator. They are the toxic spill. And my final green flag. They can navigate a crowded international airport without having a total psychological meltdown.
Oh, travel compatibility is make or break.
Literally, if a delayed flight causes them to scream at a gate agent, you can build a life with them.
That is profound truth. Airport rage is terrifying because it shows how they handle unforeseen adversity.
Yeah.
Okay, my final two. Number 4, they ask insightful follow-up questions when you tell a rambling story. They don't just let the silence hang and then pivot to talking about their fantasy football team. They want to explore your inner world.
Love that.
And number 5, the absolute most important. They hype you up when you succeed in a room full of other people. There is zero underlying competition, no subtle put-downs dressed as jokes, just pure, that is my person, and they are a genius's energy.
Those are phenomenally accurate metrics for a healthy partnership. Listeners, write those down, memorize them, and do not settle for the bare minimum of a text back within 3 business days.
Please don't.
But babes, speaking of settling for the bare minimum and completely ignoring raging red flags enough about our own relationship delusions, it is time to traverse the space-time continuum and head into the villa where everyone has known each other for precisely 3 weeks. The green flags have all been set on fire, and somehow, inexplicably, they are already discussing forever.
Oh, let's unpack the absolute mental collapse happening inside that villa right now.
We desperately need to dissect the overall vibe check of this episode because the whiplash was severe.
How severe. Before the family drama hit the screen, the fan consensus online was brutally rough. People were rating the first half of this episode a 4 out of 10. The comments on Twitter were entirely aligned, saying, "This could have been an email. It was dragging so badly."
It was an absolute slog. Let's be brutally honest and pull back the curtain on the production. The Love Island UK budget cuts are violently obvious this year, especially if you compare it to the U.S. version. Have you seen the U.S. version lately?
Oh, it's insane.
They have massive, sprawling resort villas insane high-budget challenges. They look like they're vacationing on a billionaire's private island, the UK version this year. They are practically just sitting on the exact same 3 faded bean bags on a terrace that looks like it was furnished by a clearance sale at a discount furniture store.
Now the faded beanbags.
There are no elaborate challenges to break the tension. There are no extravagant dates outside the villa walls. They are just staring at each other, trapped in a cycle of manufactured conversations. The sensory deprivation is causing them to lose their minds. But, I will admit, the messy, unscripted reality of the family dynamics completely saved the episode from being a total wash.
They absolutely did, because when the families walked in, the sheer genetics of it all, I was stunned. We have to talk about Jasmine's gorgeous mom and her sister Bella arriving, and then Kavan and Aidan's mom, Emma, and Kavan's twin sister, Riley. Seeing them all reunite on the lawn, I'm not going to lie, I actually shed a real tear.
You always cry at the family visits.
It was so incredibly sweet. Jasmine's mom pulling her aside and telling her how proud she is of the way she has carried herself. Kavan looking at Jasmine with pure adoration while her family openly approved of him. It was giving me full-body chills. I love love. It felt so validating.
And I love a sociological phenomenon because Jasmine's family is quite literally a case study in the halo effect.
Oh, here we go with the terms.
Hear me out. The halo effect is a cognitive bias where our overall impression of a person influences how we feel and think about their character. Bella walked in, and I think half the villa just stopped breathing for a microsecond.
She is stunning.
It's like they all share the exact same genetically engineered bone structure. Because they're so incredibly beautiful, the Islanders instantly assign positive, authoritative traits to them. But what I loved far more than the sweet reunions was the disruption of the reality TV bubble.
Oh, Aidan's mom.
Exactly. When Aidan's mom, Emma, stepped into that villa, she represented the external, authoritative reality penetrating this fake environment.
Okay.
She immediately dropped the mic on her own son.
Oh my gosh, she did not hold back for one single second. She didn't offer a polite, televised greeting. She looked him dead in the eye on national television and called him a dirty dog.
It was iconic.
She literally said, "You've been around the world in this villa." It was devastating.
I was absolutely reveling in it. When your own mother, the woman biologically programmed to protect you, knows you are acting like an absolute menace and refuses to play along with the producer-driven narrative, it is a staggering moment of television.
It really is.
Aidan tried to play it off with the classic reality TV defense mechanism. He tried to frame his bad behavior as growth, saying, "Oh, I've been on a journey." She just completely shut it down. She wasn't buying the PR spin. It was magnificent. Mothers always know when their sons are treating women like disposable commodities, and she refused to co-sign his nonsense.
It's so deeply true. The mother's intuition cannot be blinded by villa lighting. And while Aidan was getting rightly, beautifully humbled by his mother, we also had a really surprising, mature moment with Angelista and Simba.
Oh, the fire pit chat.
Yes. Angelista's brother Dylan pulled Simba for a chat over by the fire pit. And you know, the mechanics of the show, a protective brother pulling the controversial boyfriend for a chat, is usually a recipe for absolute disaster and chest-puffing bravado.
Especially considering Simba's abysmal track record with Casa Amor and his chronic inability to resist bombshells. Historically, his hand shoots up like a rocket anytime a new girl walks into the room. He has operated purely on impulse. So Dylan, pulling him aside, was primed to be an alpha male standoff.
But wait, this is where Simba shocked me and showed a massive, undeniable green flag. Dylan set him down, and Simba didn't get defensive. He didn't engage in ego preservation. He took full, radical accountability.
It was actually pretty smooth.
He held his hands up, looked Dylan in the eye, and said, "I made mistakes. I messed up terribly. I hurt her, but I am entirely committed to your sister now." He didn't make excuses about being tested or blame the high-pressure environment of the villa, and Dylan really respected him for it. You could see the tension physically leave Dylan's shoulders. It was such a rare, emotionally intelligent moment. It made me fully believe in their long-term potential again.
I will give Simba credit where it is due. The suspension of ego is incredibly rare in that villa. It was a phenomenally smart PR move, but it also felt surprisingly genuine in its delivery. It's fascinating how taking total responsibility actually diffuses tension instantly. When you don't fight back, the other person has nothing to push against.
Right.
Who knew? But while Simba was out there doing the heavy emotional lifting and acting like a fully evolved adult, another Islander was about to create a mess of epic, catastrophic proportions simply because a pretty sister walked through the door.
Oh, we have to unpack the Aidan delusion, because this was the exact moment the episode transformed from a dragging 4 out of 10 to absolute chaotic reality TV gold. The sheer audacity of this man needs to be studied in a lab.
Let's set the scene and analyze the producer manipulation mechanics at play here. Jasmine's sister, Bella, is visiting. Out of nowhere, she actively pulls Aidan away from the group for one-on-one chat on the daybeds.
Which was suspicious in itself.
Highly suspicious. I have a very strong, highly cynical theory about how this was orchestrated. I absolutely believe the producers whispered in Bella's ear and push her to do this. We know how they manipulate the environment, they restrict activities, they isolate them, and they frame situations to guarantee drama.
And the fans on Twitter were already on it.
Oh, the fans are incredibly thorough. They already caught Bella sliding into Samraj's brother's DMs on the outside. This girl is not just there to drop off a care package and support her sister. She is highly aware of the cameras and is there for maximum screen time. She knew exactly what she was doing, pulling the most easily distracted, ego-driven boy in the villa.
Oh, she definitely knew the assignment. And Aidan, Aidan completely spectacularly misreads the entire interaction. Bella is just being polite, making standard conversation, saying things like, oh, when you guys get out of here, you should come to our house in London. We throw big parties. It is very standard, polite, extended family networking small talk. She's just being a gracious host.
Exactly. It's polite networking. But Aidan's ego is so fragile and yet so inflated, a classic Dunning-Kruger effect of male attractiveness, that he interprets basic politeness as overwhelming sexual desire.
It's embarrassing.
He bounds back to Lorenzo and Samraj, completely giddy, acting like a golden retriever who just found a tennis ball. He starts bragging. He literally says to Jasmine and Kavan later that if it were the old Aidan, he would have asked Bella for a kiss right there on the daybed.
I physically recoiled. I wanted to sink into my sofa and disappear. How on earth do you say that out loud, let alone to the girl's actual sister and her partner? He is so deeply, fundamentally unserious. It is insulting to Priya, it is insulting to Jasmine, and it is weirdly insulting to Bella.
He is that specific archetype of a guy at a crowded bus stop who thinks you're actively flirting with him, deeply in love with him and ready to elope simply because you made accidental eye contact and said excuse me while walking past. He lives in a perpetual delusional state of thinking everyone desires him. Bella was just engaging in basic human communication, and he was ready to risk his entire standing in the villa and the psychological need to vocalize it to the boys. That is purely about seeking validation to reinforce his own perceived high status.
And the boys' reactions were arguably the best part of the entire debacle. Lorenzo and Samraj are watching him excitedly recount this story, and they're just staring at him like he has suddenly started speaking another language. They are exchanging these loaded, heavy looks, communicating entirely without words, basically saying, are we hearing this correctly? Is he actually this dense?
Which brings up the hilarious recurring Love Island conundrum we discussed earlier this season. Is Samraj doing an impression of Lorenzo, or is Lorenzo doing an impression of Samraj?
Aha!
Because in that moment, their personalities merged perfectly. They shared a single brain cell of pure, unadulterated judgment. They knew Aidan was digging his own social grave with a backhoe.
And while Aidan is gleefully digging his grave with Bella, Priya is completely ignorant of this entire conversation and is off having her own deeply humiliating moment on the other side of the garden.
Right, the chat with Ethan.
Yes. Before the secret about Aidan's comment even spills, Priya pulls dumped Islander Ethan to complain about his mom.
This was the mother-in-law from hell segment, and frankly, Priya was exhibiting staggering levels of delusion here too. It was painful to watch. She sits Ethan down and basically whines that his mom gave her a stern look across the lawn and wasn't warm or welcoming to her. She wanted him to validate her hurt feelings.
We really need to break down the evolutionary psychology of why Ethan's mom was stern. Think about Priya's actions leading up to this. Priya coldly ended things with Ethan, totally blindsided him with zero warning, and then immediately, literally the exact same night, took Aidan into the hideaway.
It was ruthless.
Ethan's mom is watching this play out on national television. Of course she's not going to run across the lawn and hug Priya. It is maternal protection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I heavily drag Priya for expecting Ethan's mom to be happy-go-lucky and treat her like a future daughter-in-law. It is called in-group, out-group psychology, and it is called deep loyalty to her son. What narrative did Priya construct in her head where this goes well?
I have no idea.
Did she think Ethan's mom was going to say, oh, thank you so much for humiliating my sweet boy in front of millions of viewers and instantly jumping into bed with the local village idiot, let's go get our nails done? It was absurd. Priya expects people to view her with a clean slate, completely divorced from the consequences of her televised actions. She lacks total self-awareness.
It's true, she wanted to be validated as a good person, and Ethan, to his absolute credit, just handled it so graciously without validating her delusion. But the universe wasn't done humbling Priya, because then the inevitable happens, the secret spills.
Yasmin cannot keep a secret to save her life.
No, she cannot. Jasmine, who possesses zero capability to keep a secret when it directly involves her own sister and her best friend's relationship, goes straight to Priya and relays Aidan's disrespectful Aidan would have kissed her comment.
And Priya is left absolutely fuming. The cognitive dissonance sets in.
Yeah.
She is spiraling, questioning everything, sitting there on the beanbag saying, am I more into it than him?
Yes, Priya, you are.
You absolutely are, because you are operating under the illusion of a relationship while he is operating under the reality of a vacation.
I genuinely felt bad for her in that exact moment. It is a horrible, gut-wrenching feeling to be constantly humiliated on a public platform. She genuinely thought they had built this strong, turbulent, but ultimately real connection, and he is out here panting over someone's sister during a sacred family day.
See, I don't feel bad for her at all. My empathy well is dry when it comes to Priya because Priya is a willing participant in her own delusion.
You're so hard.
It's true. She only likes Aidan for his proximity to the Murphy brother brand. Let's look at the external context. Fans online have been joking all week, comparing Cavan and Aidan to the Jedward twins or the Mitchell brothers from EastEnders. Priya is highly calculating. She thinks she is securing a highly lucrative post-villa double-date brand partnership by staying with a Murphy brother.
Oh, wow, the cynic is out tonight.
She wants the aesthetic of being the sister-in-law duo with Jasmine. She doesn't actually like Aidan's chaotic personality. She just likes his marketability. She's evaluating him as an asset, not a partner.
You are so hopelessly cynical, but looking at her actions, you might be a little bit right. Because her pride is currently in tatters, she's fuming at Aidan, she is questioning everything she knows, and then a surprise text message forces her to put her money where her mouth is and make a definitive choice.
Yes. The text message of doom. The producers deploy their favorite psychological weapon, the unpredictable reward schedule. Just as the dust is seemingly settling on the emotional high of family day, a text chimes out, calling everyone to gather around the fire pit for a surprise girl's choice recoupling. It is emotional whiplash by design.
We have to set the scene because the contrast was hilarious. They are all solemnly walking out to the fire pit. The tension is thick. The dramatic, heart-beating music is playing over the loudspeakers. And I just have to point out, right before this intense moment, Samraj was running around the dressing room modeling the quote-unquote Love Island winter willy warmer that someone's family brought in.
A truly vital, culturally significant piece of merchandise that ITV is definitely trying to manufacture and sell on their website right now. Peak modern romance. The juxtaposition of that against the ensuing emotional devastation is what makes this show a masterpiece.
Okay, let's break down these recoupling speeches because the fire pit was a snarky goldmine of linguistic choices. Mika goes first and she chooses Samraj, which shocks absolutely nobody. But did you catch her specific wording during the speech?
How could I possibly miss it? She gave this big, sweeping monologue about how her family loved him, how much they've grown, and then she drops the emotional climax. Not, I love you, but I heart you.
I heart you. I paused my television. What is this MSN Messenger in the year 2006? Are they acting like they are at a soft play area for toddlers? It is emotional infantilization. They have been together for weeks, they are sleeping in the same bed, and they are still speaking in bumper sticker slogans to avoid true vulnerability.
It's because they have absolutely nothing else of substance to say. They're terrified of the gravity of real words, so they use emojis translated into speech. But then we move down the line to Angelista and Simba. Angie gives this actually very eloquent, grounded speech about feeling an intense connection from day one and acknowledging the trials and tribulations they faced.
I am fully, unequivocally back on board this ship. Seeing her stand up and defend him after the Casa Amor mess, and seeing how genuinely happy and relaxed they looked after the family day approval, I genuinely believe they have a shot on the outside. They survived the absolute worst stress testing the villa could throw at them.
They did. They endured the crucible.
Yeah.
But then we had Julia and Lorenzo. Julia, who usually talks a mile a minute and analyzes everything, stands up there and says she is speechless and feels grateful.
It felt incredibly flat, didn't it? Like the air was let out of a balloon.
Flat is an understatement. It felt like a LinkedIn recommendation for a mid-level manager. I highly, highly suspect Lorenzo's giving a purely producer-driven performance at this point, and he treats Julia like a business prospect rather than a romantic partner.
Oh, that's brutal.
He looks at her the exact way you look at a quarterly earnings spreadsheet that finally balanced. There's no fire, no passion, no unpredictability. They are just coasting on a gentle slope to the finale.
That is a brutal assessment, but honestly, I completely see it. There is no spark. Okay, but let's talk about the complete opposite of flat. Yasmin and Tommy. They dropped the L-bomb.
Yes, they did.
In her speech, she literally stood up in front of everyone and said she was completely obsessed with him, and they confirmed they love each other. After 3 weeks, my romantic heart absolutely swooned. The way he looked at her, they are so cute.
Oh, babes. The delusion is contagious. The L-bomb dropped after a mere 3 weeks is not romance. It is a tactical nuke designed specifically to secure public votes ahead of the finale. It is performative vulnerability. Plus, the internet rumors circulating right now are wild and highly credible.
Don't ruin this for me.
Have you seen the TikTok deep dives?
Meh.
There's a very persistent, well-documented rumor that Tommy has a secret long-term girlfriend on the outside, holding down the fort in Essex while he goes on a reality show purely to farm Instagram followers and secure Club PA appearances.
No, I aggressively refuse to believe that. I reject that reality. They looked deeply into each other's eyes. You can't fake that kind of pupil dilation.
The eyes absolutely lie when a 50,000-pound cash prize and 1 million followers are on the line. Pupil dilation can be faked if you think about money hard enough. Moving on down the line to Jasmine and Kavan. Now this, I will begrudgingly admit, was a genuinely beautiful, grounded speech.
Finally, something you like.
She talked about how he actively makes her a smarter and kinder person. It wasn't about fireworks. It was about character.
It was incredibly gorgeous. They have a real, undeniable connection that feels like it exists outside the villa walls. But then the tension crests, because it all comes down to Priya. Due to Ellie walking out earlier in the week and messing up the gender ratios, it meant there was an odd number of boys. Ethan and Aidan are left standing there, vulnerable, staring at Priya.
This is where the sunk cost fallacy takes the wheel. Despite being deeply humiliated by the Bella comments just hours prior, despite knowing for a fact that Aidan's own mother called him a dirty dog on national television, Priya stands up and chooses Aidan.
I couldn't believe it.
She cites their quote-unquote turbulent journey and a vague, undefined, weird something that happened between them after Casa Amor.
I was standing up, screaming at the television. Why, Priya, why? You are highly intelligent. You are stunningly beautiful. You have functioning intuition. Why actively settle for a guy who treats you as a backup option, who flirts with your best friend's sister when you could have chosen Ethan and walked away with your head held high and your dignity intact?
Because, as I keep saying, this is a survival game and she is playing the metagame. She chose survival over self-respect. She knows the Murphy brothers are a main producer storyline. If she dumps Aidan, she risks losing her screen time. But furthermore, the cognitive dissonance was agonizing to watch.
It really was.
She's already sacrificed her public reputation for Aidan. Leaving him now means acknowledging that the sacrifice was entirely for nothing. So she attempts to justify it with nonsense phrases like a weird something. Yes, Priya, the weird something is his complete lack of respect for your existence. Which brings us to the tragic casualty of this delusional, calculated choice. Ethan.
Oh, Ethan. We need to pour one out for him. A true gentleman's departure. Because of Priya's choice, Ethan is dumped from the island immediately. And babes, the way he handled that rejection and sudden eviction was absolute top-tier emotional regulation.
It truly was a masterclass in retaining one's dignity. The villa actually burst into applause as he walked out. Lorenzo stood up and gave a toast, saying he was a rare gem who lifted the energy of the whole house. Tommy said he was a uniquely special guy. It was like watching a beloved dignitary resign.
He left without an ounce of bitterness or spite. He didn't lash out at Priya, he just smiled, said it was a bittersweet feeling, and admitted with total grace that his time was up because nobody in there was the right match for him. He took the rejection on the chin. We demand, right here on the Snark side, that ITV executives put Ethan on the starting lineup for Love Island All-Stars Season 4.
Oh, without question.
Do not insult him by making him a late-stage bombshell. Put him in on day one. He is the ultimate, emotionally intelligent, unproblematic king.
Fully agreed. He deserved exponentially better than being utilized as collateral damage in Priya's chaotic brand-building exercise. Which, looking at the board right now, brings us to an evaluation of where these couples actually stand. If we are evaluating chemistry, trust, entertainment value, and actual long-term viability, Jasmine and Kavan have to be at the absolute top.
Yes, they are the clear top tier. Jasmine and Kavan's chemistry is undeniable. They actually listen and respond to each other without projecting. Their trust looks rock solid, especially after the family day approval. Her family adored him, his family adored her. It is a fairy tale.
They are the frontrunners, no contest. And I will grudgingly elevate Angelista and Simba to the top tier alongside them. Their entertainment value is astronomically high because they survive the dramatic crucible, and their physical chemistry is palpable through the screen. Simba taking radical accountability actually boosted their trust score significantly. Against all my cynical instincts, they might actually make it to Christmas.
Okay, looking at the middle of the pack, I'm putting Yasmin and Tommy here. Their chemistry is high, they literally said, I love you, and they are very sweet and tactile together.
I am aggressively knocking their trust score down to a 0 because of the Essex girlfriend rumors. I cannot, in good conscience, evaluate a man who allegedly has a partner managing his dog while he goes on a dating show as high trust, also sitting in the middle.
Yeah.
Nika and Samraj. They are fun, they are goofy, the I Heart You thing was ridiculous, but sweet in a very juvenile, low-stakes way. But their long-term potential is an absolute 0.
Why 0? They have so much fun together.
Babes, let's look at a geographical map for 3 seconds. She lives in Barbados, he lives in a rainy suburb in the UK. Unless one of them is secretly sitting on a billion-dollar trust fund with access to a private jet, the sheer logistics alone will kill that romance before the leaves even begin to change color in autumn.
Oh, that's sad.
The time difference, the flights, it is a textbook holiday romance, nothing more.
Okay, fair point on the devastating reality of geography. And now the bottom of the barrel. Priya and Aidan and Lorenzo and Julia. I think we can universally agree on Priya and Aidan. There's 0 trust. Aidan is absolutely going to try and flirt with the flight attendant on the T3 flight home to London.
He will absolutely ask the pilot for a kiss if he gets the opportunity. They have 0 chemistry, negative trust, and their long-term potential is non-existent. Priya will be meticulously drafting a Notes app breakup statement for her Instagram story within 48 hours of getting her phone back.
Yep, completely agree.
And Lorenzo and Julia. They belong in the exact same tier. The entertainment value is completely flatlining. It feels like watching a corporate merger drag on through endless legal red tape.
Right.
They will survive the flight home, post 3 highly curated sponsored Instagram posts together for a teeth whitening brand, and then release a joint statement mutually agreeing to part ways to focus on their individual projects.
You are so incredibly ruthless, but you are rarely wrong about the post-villa trajectory. The suddenness of that recoupling really showed everyone's true colors, though. The producers really decided to drop that text message right after an emotional, tear-filled family day. It was psychological whiplash designed to disorient them.
The timing was brilliantly diabolical. Everyone is riding the massive dopamine high of seeing their mothers, crying, feeling secure in their little bubble, and then boom, the slot machine rings, and someone is getting fired from the island. It forces them to make decisions while emotionally compromised.
Jasmine and Kavan handled it beautifully because they were so secure in their dynamic. They just rode the high of family approval straight through the tension of the fire pit. They were literally glowing with relief. But Priya, she completely unraveled.
Unraveled.
She had to make a massive, highly public decision while actively, desperately trying to ignore the massive red flag waving in her face regarding Aidan's loyalty with Bella. You could see her physically struggling at the fire pit. She was trying to convince herself more than she was trying to convince the audience.
That is the core tragedy of her arc. It was an internal debate between the fantasy of love and the reality of survival. And she ultimately chose survival. She unraveled internally but tried to paste a PR-friendly smile on it. It was genuinely tough to watch someone abandon their instincts like that.
If we're distilling tonight down to its core lessons, what is your absolute biggest green flag from this entire chaotic episode?
It absolutely has to be Ethan's graceful exit. Taking a highly public dumping on the chin without throwing a tantrum, without playing the victim to the cameras, or being petty to Priya on your way out, that is top-tier emotional maturity. He demonstrated immense self-regulation. He proved exactly why he deserves an all-stars run. He was pure class in a house full of chaos. What about your biggest red flag?
Do we even need to ask the question, Aidan? The entire man is a walking red flag woven from pure audacity. But specifically, meeting a girl's sister for the very first time in front of national television cameras and immediately bounding over to the boys to brag that the old you would have tried to kiss her.
Just gross.
It dissects exactly how deeply unserious he is. He is incapable of viewing women as anything other than conquests. He does not respect Priya, he does not respect Jasmine, and he fundamentally lacks respect for himself.
He is a walking, breathing cautionary tale for modern dating. If you see an Aidan in the wild, do not engage. Cross the street and call a cab.
Which brings us to the future, looking ahead to tomorrow's drama. Because the preview at the end of the episode showed us that the Grafties are finally coming. The infamous Love Island Movie Night Awards ceremony where all the secret, dirty laundry is aired on a giant screen for everyone to see.
Finally, some actual high-stakes drama to wake us up from the beanbag-induced coma before the finale. Producers are going to show the tapes. What is your biggest prediction for the fallout?
My biggest prediction is that the Grafties will finally forcefully open Priya's eyes to the full extent of Aidan's villainy. The producers are going to play a compilation of every single thing he has said behind her back, including the raw, unedited footage of the Bella conversation. She will have nowhere to hide and no choice but to confront the delusion. The hopeless romantic in me is praying she finally finds her spine and chooses herself.
I deeply admire your relentless optimism, but she will probably just cry, yell at him for 10 minutes, and then ultimately forgive him by morning because there are only 3 days left until the cash prize is awarded. My prediction:
Let's hear it.
the couple most likely to entirely implode is Lorenzo and Julia. The Grafties usually reveal public voting rankings or secret calculating conversations. Lorenzo is highly concerned with optics. I think he will completely crack under the pressure if a video clip reveals that the public isn't buying his businessman in love routine. He will abandon ship to save his own brand.
Oh, that would be deliciously chaotic, to see the mask slip. Okay, who is your surprise MVP for tomorrow night's cinematic event?
Smudge the cat, obviously. The stray cat that wanders the perimeter of the villa is the only unproblematic resident on the entire island. I hope the producers give Smudge a golden trophy for best lurker.
Smudge is the true breakout star of season 13. Okay.
Yeah.
I have one completely chaotic, deeply unhinged theory that somehow feels entirely possible given the producer manipulation we've seen.
Lay it on me. I'm ready for the madness.
What if the producers somehow fly Bella back to Majorca and have her make a dramatic return to the villa to physically host the Grafties? Can you imagine the psychological warfare? Aidan's head would completely spin off his shoulders. He would instantly forget Priya even exists and try to present an award directly to Bella's lips. It would be a bloodbath.
That would be reality TV producer manipulation at its absolute most villainous finest, and I would give it a standing ovation. It logistically won't happen, but it is the exact level of psychological chaos this driest season desperately deserves.
Well, babes, that is all the snark, all the analysis, and all the chaotic predictions we have for tonight. But we want to hear from you, the Snark Squad. Hop into the comments, tweet us, or leave a voice note. We have 3 vital questions for you. Number 1. Which horoscope sounded the most brutally accurate for your week? Are you a Pisces falling deeply in love with an unavailable barista? Or a Capricorn scheduling your flirting in a Google Calendar?
Number 2, which couple are you actually genuinely rooting for to win the cash prize? Are you buying into the Jasmine and Kavan fairy tale? Or are you deeply cynical like me and waiting for the other shoe to drop?
And number 3, what is one highly specific, underrated green flag you always look for in a partner? Let's build a master list in the comments so we can all collectively raise our standards and stop settling for the Aidens of the world.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, drinking cocktails with us, and surviving another week of absolute villa madness. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share this chat with another Love Island-loving babe who desperately needs their weekly dose of reality check.
And remember, if finding love was as easy as making iced coffee, we wouldn't need to watch this show. Have you ever considered that we're all just watching these islanders project our own deepest insecurities about dating onto a television screen?
We absolutely are.
The Villa isn't just a dating show. It's a mirror reflecting how terrifying and performative the search for connection has become. Something to think about next time you open a dating app. Stay flirty, stay chaotic, and we'll see you on the snark side.